Hi, Cancer. Welcome back to Moonveil Tarot. And if you're new here, hello and welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. Okay, loves, today's reading is one that I want to approach with a lot of care because what we are talking about today is something that is very real in the spiritual world and something that I think a lot of people either completely dismiss or completely fear. And neither of those responses is actually the right one because what came through was not light and fluffy. It was not the kind of energy that I can dress up in pretty words and send you off feeling warm and cozy. What came through was the kind of energy that makes you go, oh, that is real. That is actually happening. So I want to start by grounding us before we even get into the cards. Because if this title resonated with you, if you clicked on this reading, it is because something in your spirit already knows that there has been an energy sent your way that was not good, that was not loving, that came from a place of jealousy, bitterness, spite, or a desire to see you diminished. And I want to validate that because sometimes in spiritual communities, we are told to just send love and light and not to acknowledge the darkness. And while I believe in the power of love and light, I also believe in acknowledging what is real. And what is real is that there are people in this world who do not wish you well, who actively send negative energy in your direction, who use spiritual tools in ways that are intended to harm. But here is the most important thing I want to say before we start, and I need you to really hear this. No negative energy, no dark intention, no spiritual attack can penetrate a person who is rooted in their light. The universe has a protection around you that is far more powerful than anything anyone could send your way. And not only does that protection exist, but what was sent toward you has a natural law it must follow. It bounces back, always. It returns to its sender every single time. So today we are going to look at who this person is, what they sent, why they sent it, and exactly how it is returning to them right now. And then we are going to look at what you need to do to stay protected, stay elevated, and continue rising above all of it. So take a deep breath with me, ground yourself, maybe visualize a white light around your body if that feels good. And let's get into this. Okay, let me start by pulling a card just for who this woman is. What is her energy? What does the universe want us to know about her first? The moon. Of course, the moon. So the moon is the card of hidden things, of what exists in the shadows, of the energy that moves beneath the surface where the light does not easily reach. And what this card is telling me is that this woman operates in a hidden way. This is not someone who comes at you directly. This is not someone who says what they feel to your face. This is someone who smiles at you or maybe ignores you completely while doing something very different in private, while sending very different energy behind the scenes. And the moon also represents illusion, things that are not what they seem. So this woman has likely presented herself in your life in a way that did not reveal her true nature. She may have seemed neutral or even friendly, or simply someone in the background who you never fully thought about, but her energy has been very aware of you and very intentional in what it has been sending your way. And the moon card confirms that there is a hidden agenda here, a hidden jealousy, a hidden bitterness, something that she has not been transparent about because she knows that if she were, people would see exactly who she is. Okay. Let me pull a card for why she targeted you. What is the root of this? Why you specifically? The Five of Wands, and right next to it, the Star reversed. Okay, so these two together, let me really look at this. The Five of Wands. This card is about competition, conflict, fighting energy, the feeling that someone else's success is a threat to your own. And what this is telling me is that the root of why this woman targeted you is competition. Or more specifically, perceived competition. Like you did not compete with her. You were not trying to take anything from her. You were simply being you, living your life, growing, glowing, becoming more of yourself. And she saw that and felt threatened by it because your light in her perception made her feel like her own light was smaller. Your blessings made her feel like her own blessings were not enough. Your gifts made her feel insecure about her own. And then the Star reversed beside it, which is so revealing because the Star upright is hope, healing, faith in the future. But reversed, it is the absence of all of that. It is despair, hopelessness, a deep inner emptiness that makes a person want to extinguish someone else's light. And what this reverse star is showing me is that this woman is operating from a place of deep spiritual emptiness. She does not have faith in her own path. She does not trust that her own blessings are coming. She does not believe in her own light enough to just let yours exist without trying to interfere with it. And I say this not to make you feel sorry for her, because what she chose to do with that emptiness was wrong. She chose to direct it outward toward you, and that choice has consequences. Okay, now let me pull a card for what specifically she sent. Like, what was the energy? What did it feel like in your life? The Ten of Swords? The Ten of Swords. Okay, so the Ten of Swords is a really intense card. It shows a figure lying face down with 10 swords in their back. And as dramatic as that imagery is, what it represents is the feeling of being completely overwhelmed, exhausted, like you have been hit from every direction. Like no matter what you do, something keeps pulling you down. And for those of you who have been experiencing this kind of energy, I want to validate it because there can be periods in our lives where things feel disproportionately hard, where you are doing everything right and things still keep falling apart, where your energy feels drained for no obvious reason, where you feel blocked in areas of your life that should be flowing, where relationships or opportunities keep slipping away just before they land. That is the energy of what was sent. It was intended to create obstacles, to create exhaustion, to create this feeling of, why does nothing work for me? Why do I keep getting knocked down? What is wrong with me? And I want to say this very clearly. Nothing is wrong with you. You have been navigating a spiritual interference that most people do not even know how to name. And the fact that you are still here, still standing, still seeking, still growing, despite all of it, is a testament to how strong your light actually is. Okay, now let me pull a card for what your protection looks like, because I want you to understand what has been standing between you and the full force of what was sent. The High Priestess? The High Priestess. As your protection, the High Priestess is the guardian of sacred knowledge, of divine wisdom, of the veil between the seen and unseen worlds. And she sits between two pillars as a keeper, as a protector, as someone who holds the space between the light and the dark, and does not let the dark pass through. And what this card is telling me is that you have been protected by a very powerful feminine energy in the spiritual realm. This could be a spirit guide. It could be an ancestral mother energy. It could be the divine feminine itself. But there has been a presence standing guard over you that has been intercepting a significant portion of what was sent your way. And I also feel like this high priestess energy is part of who you are. Like there is a strong, intuitive, spiritually aware part of you that has been picking up on things even when you could not fully articulate what you were feeling. That internal alarm system that kept telling you something is not right, something is off, something is not aligned here. That was your own high priestess energy protecting you, warning you, keeping you aware. Okay, now let me pull the most important card in this whole reading, because this is what everyone came here to see. What is actually happening to this woman right now as this energy returns to her? The Tower, the Wheel of Fortune reversed. And right next to those, Justice, okay, Loves, the Tower, the Wheel of Fortune reversed, and Justice together for what is happening to her right now. This is extraordinary. Okay, let me walk through each of these. The Tower, which we know is the card of sudden, unexpected, unavoidable collapse. And what this is telling me is that the structure of this woman's life is being destabilized. The things she built, the relationships she cultivated, the reputation she maintained are all being shaken. And the shaking is coming from the inside out. Because when you build using dark energy, when you invest your spiritual resources into harming others instead of building your own life, the foundation is rotten. And the Tower always reveals a rotten foundation. And then the Wheel of Fortune reversed, which is the wheel turning against someone. Upright, the wheel brings good fortune. Reversed, it brings misfortune. It brings the kind of bad luck that feels relentless, where one thing goes wrong, and then another, and then another. Where the brakes stop going your way, where the universe stops cooperating. And this is what this woman is experiencing right now. The luck she may have had is drying up. The things that used to come easily to her are becoming hard. The doors that used to open are closing because the wheel has turned. And then Justice. Sitting right there beside both of them, Justice, the universe making things right, the scales being balanced, every dark intention, every negative energy sent, every spiritual interference being weighed and returned with precision. And what Justice in this position is saying is that what is happening to her is not random bad luck. It is not coincidence. It is the universe executing a very specific, very balanced, very deliberate correction. She sent something, and the universe is sending it back, amplified. Okay, now let me look at how this is showing up in her personal life. Like, what specifically is falling apart for her? The Five of Cups, the Three of Swords, and the Eight of Cups, okay? So these three cards together for what is falling apart in her personal life, this is significant. The Five of Cups first, she is losing things. Relationships that mattered to her are not what she thought they were. Support she was counting on is falling away. There is a grief coming for her about the things she is losing that she did not expect to lose. And then the Three of Swords. Heartbreak. Real, genuine heartbreak. And I want to say, for those of you who feel a pull toward feeling sorry for her, it is okay to acknowledge that pain exists without condoning what she did. The Three of Swords is showing that the consequences of her choices are landing in her heart, in her emotional world. She is being made to feel a version of what she tried to make you feel. And then the Eight of Cups, which shows someone walking away from a life that no longer fulfills them, walking into uncertainty, into the unknown, not by choice exactly, but because what they had has lost its meaning, has lost its warmth. And what this is showing me is that this woman is going through a kind of stripping away. The things she invested her energy in, instead of investing in her own growth, are not sustaining her. The darkness she leaned on is leaving her more empty than before. And she is starting to realize that none of what she did actually gave her what she wanted. Okay, now I want to pivot because this reading is not just about her. It is about you. It is about what you do now, how you protect yourself going forward, and what your life looks like now that this interference is being neutralized. Let me pull some tea leaf cards to get more specific guidance on what you need to know right now. The first tea leaf card is Shield. The Shield. Yes, this is so fitting because the shield represents divine protection, a barrier between you and anything that does not serve your highest good. And what your guides are saying through this card is that your protection is active. It is real. It is not something you have to earn or maintain perfectly. It is there and it is working. The interference that was sent your way has been significantly deflected by this shield. And what made it through what you actually felt and experienced was a fraction of what was originally intended. The next tea leaf card is Mirror. The Mirror card. Oh, this is so significant because the mirror in spiritual readings represents exactly what we have been talking about. The law of reflection, energy returning to its source. What you send out comes back to you. And what this mirror card is confirming is that this is the actual mechanism of what is happening right now. The energy she sent hit the shield around you and bounced straight back like a mirror reflecting light back at the source. She pointed darkness at you and the universe held up a mirror, and now she is facing exactly what she tried to send. The next tea leaf card is Rising Sun. Oh, the rising sun for you. And this is such a beautiful contrast to everything we have been looking at for her, because while her world is experiencing the Tower and the reversed Wheel of Fortune and all of that contraction energy, your world is experiencing a sunrise, a new dawn, a fresh beginning. Things that have been blocked for you are starting to unblock. Opportunities that seem to keep slipping away are going to start landing. Energy that felt heavy or drained is going to start lifting. You are going to start feeling more like yourself again, more energized, more clear, more aligned. The next tea leaf card is Roots. Roots, which represents your foundation, your groundedness, the deep anchored part of you that cannot be moved no matter what is sent your way. And what this card is telling you is that the reason the interference did not destroy you is because your roots go deep. Like you have something inside you that is unshakable, a connection to your spirit, to your truth, to your purpose that negative energy cannot sever. because roots that go deep cannot be uprooted by surface level attacks. And the last tea leaf card is Golden Light. Golden Light. Oh, loves. This is your final tea leaf card, and it is the most beautiful one. Golden Light represents divine blessing, elevated energy, the presence of the divine moving actively in your life, illuminating your path, warming your world, bringing clarity and abundance and love into every area that the darkness tried to dim. The golden light is winning. Your light is winning. It has always been winning. And now that the interference is being removed, you are going to feel it more clearly than ever. Okay, let me now pull a final tarot spread to look at what you need to do going forward and what your life looks like as all of this interference clears. 4 cards. 1 for your spiritual protection practice. 1 for what is unlocking for you right now. 1 for what to watch out for. And 1 for your outcome. The Empress. The Ace of Wands. The 7 of Swords. And the Sun. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me walk through these. The Empress for your spiritual protection practice. So the Empress is the divine feminine. She is abundance, beauty, nurturing, and powerful creative energy. And she is showing up here as your spiritual protection guidance. And what this is telling me is that the most powerful thing you can do to protect yourself spiritually is to invest in your own light, to nourish yourself, to take care of your energy, to do the things that make you feel alive and beautiful and creative and abundant, because the Empress energy is naturally repellent to dark energy, not because she is defensive, but because she is so full of life that darkness cannot find purchase. Like, you do not fight dark energy with dark energy. You overwhelm it with light. You flood your life with so much beauty, so much creativity, so much love and gratitude and abundance that there is simply no space for anything dark to live. That is the Empress strategy, and it is the most effective one there is. And then the Ace of Wands for what is unlocking for you right now. Oh yes, the Ace of Wands. This is pure creative fire, a brand new spark, a new passion, project, direction, or opportunity that is igniting in your life. And what this is telling me is that as the interference clears, your creative energy is returning, your passion is returning, your motivation is returning. That fire inside you that may have felt dampened or blocked is reigniting, and it is going to propel you forward into something new and exciting that you have the full energy to pursue now. And then the 7 of Swords for what to watch out for. So the 7 of Swords is the card of someone still operating sneakily, still trying to get away with something, still working in the shadows. And what this is telling me is that even as the karma is returning to this woman, even as the tower is happening in her life, there may still be attempts. Like, people like this do not always stop immediately. Sometimes the desperation intensifies before it stops completely, and your guides want you to stay aware, stay protective of your energy, be mindful of who you share your plans with, be careful about who gets access to your inner world during this transition period. Not paranoid, just aware. Trust your gut. If something feels off, honor that feeling, because your high priestess intuition is one of your most powerful protections. And then the Sun as your outcome. The Sun loves. The Sun as your outcome. Pure joy, pure clarity, pure light, things becoming clear in a way that they have not been clear for a while. The confusion lifting, the heaviness lifting, the obstacles clearing. And what is left is just the most beautiful, warm, radiant version of your life that you have been working toward. Okay, let me pull some final messages from your guides to close this out. Your light cannot be extinguished. Your light cannot be extinguished. I need you to hear that. Not by her, not by anyone, not by any energy, any intention, any spiritual interference that anyone has ever sent your way, because your light is not something external. It is not something that was given to you that can be taken away. It is who you are. It is your soul. And souls cannot be dimmed by external darkness. They can only be temporarily obscured. And now the cloud is lifting. The next final card is cleanse your energy daily. Okay, so this is practical guidance from your guides. And I want to take it seriously because it is important. Cleanse your energy daily. And I know that might sound like a big practice, but it does not have to be complicated. It can be as simple as a shower where you visualize washing away anything that does not belong to you, or burning sage or incense, or sitting quietly and asking your guides to clear your field, or simply spending time in nature and letting the earth absorb anything heavy. The point is to be intentional about your energy on a daily basis, to not let things accumulate, to not carry other people's energy around without awareness, because when you are spiritually clean, nothing dark has a surface to stick to. The next final card is do not lower your vibration for this. Yes, so important. Do not lower your vibration for this, because here is what can happen when we find out that someone has been sending negative energy our way. We can get pulled into that energy. We can start feeling angry. We can start wanting to retaliate. We can start obsessing over what she did and who she is and what her karma looks like. Please do not do that. The moment you drop down into that energy is the moment you start working against yourself, because your light is your protection and your light lives in a high vibration. Gratitude, love, joy, peace. The moment you leave those states to go engage with the darkness, you are making yourself more vulnerable, not less. Let the universe handle her. That is not your job. Your job is to stay high, stay light, stay focused on everything beautiful that is coming for you. The next final card is what was blocked is now released. Oh, what was blocked is now released. Loves, this is your guides confirming that the spiritual interference that has been creating obstacles in your life is being dissolved right now. As you watch this, as you receive this reading, things that have been stuck are starting to move. Things that have been blocked are starting to flow. Energy that felt heavy and stagnant is lifting. So pay attention in the coming days and weeks to areas of your life that suddenly start opening up, opportunities that start appearing, relationships that start improving, energy that starts returning, because what you are going to experience is the feeling of, oh, this is what my life feels like without the interference. And it is going to feel like taking a full breath for the first time in a long time. And the very last card, who? You were never the target. You were the threat. Oh my gosh. You were never the target. You were the threat. And I want to close with this because I think it reframes everything. Because when someone sends negative energy toward you, when someone tries to interfere with your life, the story we tell ourselves is often, why me? What did I do? Why am I the target? But the truth is, they did not target you because you were weak. They targeted you because you were powerful, because your light was bright enough to make someone who lives in darkness feel threatened, because your gifts were real enough to make someone without them feel afraid, because your potential was obvious enough that someone could see exactly what you were capable of and decided they needed to try to stop it. You were never the weak one in this story. You were always the threat. So just to wrap everything up, the message of this reading is powerful and clear. Negative energy was sent your way. Your light deflected it, and it is bouncing back to its source. She is experiencing the Tower, the reversed Wheel of Fortune, the Five of Cups and the Three of Swords, the isolation and the heartbreak of her own dark energy returning to her, and justice is overseeing all of it. And you are getting the Star, the Sun, the Empress, the Ace of Wands. You are getting the rising sun and the golden light and the release of everything that was blocked. You are protected. You are powerful. You are untouchable. And the divine has always had your back, even when it did not feel that way. Even in the hardest moments, the protection was there. The high priestess was at the gate, and nothing that was meant for you was ever successfully taken. I hope this reading brought you so much relief today, so much clarity, and so much confirmation that you are not crazy for feeling what you felt. You were picking up on something real, and the universe was handling it the whole time. Please continue to take care of your energy. Please continue to choose the high vibration. Please continue to be the light that you have always been, because that light is your greatest power, and nobody can ever take it from you. If this resonated with you, please, please, please give this video a thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow, and it helps these messages reach more people who need them. Leave me a comment and let me know how this landed for you. And do not forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you do not miss anything new. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. Take really good care of yourself, cleanse your energy, stay in your light, and please remember that you were never the target. You were always the threat. And I will see you in the next reading. Bye, loves.